Hi everyone, and welcome to another AdWords Hangout. My name's Kathleen, and I'm on the AdWords team in Dublin in our EMEA headquarters. I am joined today by Nicole, a Partner Education Manager for Shopping, who is based out of our Chicago office. So today's session is going to cover a new type of product listing ads called shopping campaigns. Nicole is going to talk to us about how shopping campaigns can help you manage and promote your products on Google Shopping and streamline how you organize, bid, and report on your PLAs. So as it is an office hours segment, we invite any and all of your questions that are relevant to the world of Google Shopping and PLAs. You're going to see a Q&A feature to the right of this video if you're watching live from the Google Plus page. So please feel free to ask any questions as we go along, and we will make sure to get to them at the end. If you are watching this as a recorded event on YouTube, you'll see we've put some timestamps below, so you can jump around and watch the sections that are most relevant to you. While you're here, why not go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel? We post all of our office hours, hangouts, and AdWords quick tips. It's a great wealth of information all about AdWords. So Nicole, I'm going to hand it over to you. Please take it away.
Great, thanks so much, and thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk about the shopping campaigns, which you gave a great intro for. They're a new way of managing your product listing ads. So I have a little bit of content to share with you, and then hopefully we can answer some of your custom questions. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just kind of why retail online matters to you. I'll go through this quickly because you probably already know, since you're at this hangout, why it's so important to promote your products online to the customers who are looking for them. But a little bit of context is that consumers are shopping on mobile devices at any time and from everywhere. So they're using mobile devices, tablets, as well as laptops to find the information they're looking for about the products that they want to purchase. So whether they're standing in a store looking up if they can get a better price online, or whether they're online looking for birthday present inspiration, or just a new piece of cookware, for instance, they're shopping all the time and from everywhere. So we have currently product listing ads which help retailers get the right products in front of the right customers. And people are finding huge success with product listing ads. So that said, we've also heard feedback that there's a desire for operational improvements, so how you actually manage and organize your campaigns, and also a need for better insight into optimization so that you can make better decisions about targeting and budgeting for your product promotion. So at the end of the day, we know that retailers organize, plan, and price their inventory. They want to be able to manage their products like they manage their store. So we've given you this option. So what if you could actually manage your campaign like a store? We hear your feedback loud and clear, and we're excited to share with you some ways that we're helping tailor the online advertising experience to tactics you're already familiar with from managing your inventory. So a few key benefits to shopping campaigns. So first, shopping campaigns provide that retail-centric campaign management. So like I mentioned, we want you to be able to manage your online advertising with the same priorities and thought patterns as you manage your in-store inventory. We're also giving you some advanced reporting, which helps you be able to get insight about, for instance, brands that are performing really well, or even individual products that should be considered best sellers. And last but not least, we're giving you competitive landscape data. So this will help you understand what the potential opportunity is out there and what you can do to optimize compared to, for instance, your competitors. So let's jump into each of these in a little bit more detail. First, with retail-centric campaign management, you can browse your data feed directly in the AdWords interface. So previously, you had these two standalone pieces, your AdWords interface where you were managing your targeting, your bids, and your budget, and you had to kind of manually map that to what was happening in your data feed. Now, all of the values and the information you submit in your product data feed gets auto-populated into your AdWords account for easier targeting. So what this means is that you can select the products you want to bid on more granularly with product groups, and then actually ensure that all of your products are covered within your campaign. So a lot of great benefits to the retail-centric management piece. Next, with the advanced reporting, we're giving you the opportunity to analyze and export your performance metrics. So you'll be able to track item-level performance regardless of how you actually set up your campaign. In old PLAs or regular PLA campaigns, you may remember that in order to get information, performance information for a particular item or group of items, you actually had to target it and bid on it. Now, no matter how you organize your campaigns, you're going to get performance data for all of your products at the brand level, the category level, the ID level, etc. So it gives you lots of ways to slice and dice and really make those analytical insights that help you optimize your campaign. So ultimately, that's what we're about, is helping you identify new opportunities for improving your campaign performance. And last but not least, this competitive landscape data, which I know a lot of people are really excited about. So first, you can track your performance against your competitors with key metrics like max CPC and click-through rate, or CTR. These benchmarks give you the ability, again, to understand where you're positioned against your competitors and then make adjustments as needed. You can also get insights into your competitive landscape with impression share. So just as a quick definition, impression share is what percentage of the possible impressions you actually capture. So for instance, if your impression share is only 15%, you know that you have 85% additional opportunities to actually show your products to the right consumers. And last but not least, we're going to give you the option to kind of understand your bids and understand how increasing or decreasing your bids will affect your overall performance. So we're going to quickly run you through the new interface in a couple of screenshots just to give you a sense of just how easy this is. So first, what you'll need to do to create a new shopping campaign is, just like you're probably used to from your other advertising formats, go to Campaign, and actually in the submenu, this time you'll click Shopping. Next, you'll follow the on-screen instructions to customize your settings and do things like set a default bid and your daily budget for your new shopping campaign. Last but not least, once you've finished that workflow, you'll actually pause your original PLA campaign since you don't want to duplicate product targeting. The nice thing is, once you've finished that workflow, what's created for you is that all products target, so 100% of your inventory will be targeted in your new shopping campaign, which is what allows you to pause that regular PLA campaign. So let's actually talk about product groups. So you might be thinking, okay, that's nice. All of my products are targeted in this new shopping campaign, but I actually want to target some more specifically with different bids. So in regular PLA campaigns, these are called product targets. The same principles and the same thought process applies in shopping campaigns, but we've made it a little bit easier and we've renamed them to product groups. So as you can see here, this is an example of someone who has just finished going through that workflow of creating a shopping campaign. They've paused their regular campaign, and now they're ready to actually subdivide and create some product groups outside of their all products target. So what they'll actually do is, and what you'll do when you start going through this process, is there's a plus button next to all products. Clicking on that plus button opens up this new window that you see here that gives you the option to select certain categories or certain products that you want to subdivide and target more specifically. Within this window, you'll have the option to subdivide by several key attributes. So the first one in the menu is category. This would be if you want to subdivide by the Google product category attribute. Brand, item ID if you want to target only individual specific items. Condition, so if you have a lot of new or used inventory you want to segment. Product type, which is your own classification system or taxonomy for your products, or custom labels, which are very similar to AdWords labels and AdWords groupings from regular PLA campaigns. So once you've chosen which attribute you want to subdivide by, in this example, category or Google product category, you'll actually use these little arrows to select them and choose which categories. In this example, let's say it's some kind of department store, they've decided that apparel and accessories, furniture, health and beauty, luggage and bags, and sporting goods are their important categories. Everything else they don't care so much about subdividing, so they only choose the ones that they care about and want to bid specifically on, and then click Save. So now what they have is they have the opportunity to adjust bids for these 5 or 6 categories, and then everything else joins that everything else in all products group. So they've segmented out their 5 or 6 most important, and then everything else falls into that kind of catch-all. So let's say furniture, they have a lot of inventory there. They want to actually bid a little bit differently on some of the categories even within furniture. They'll basically follow this same process as many times as needed, so up to 5 additional subdivisions. So here they would click that plus sign again. They would get that screen that allows them to add additional categories, and once they hit save, as you can see in this screenshot, they would have their furniture category subdivided out into additional groups for their most important furniture categories. Again, you can see that ultimately this allows them to assign bids according to each of these groups' value. So maybe some of them are best sellers, they want to give a higher bid so they promote more aggressively. Maybe some of these with the lower bids, they're just not as high ROI or they're not as high margin, so they assign lower bids so that the bids are proportional to the group's value. All right, so I think that's all on my end. I'd love to hear if there are any questions we can answer.
I definitely have a few questions, Nicole. I support advertisers all day transitioning over to shopping, so a couple of things that have cropped up from the AdWords team. So you were talking about subdividing. When do you start that process? Like, how do I know that I want to segment away from all products?
It's a great question. What I would encourage you to do is, step back from AdWords targeting or AdWords groupings and really just think about your entire inventory list. So almost certainly within your inventory, there are going to be different groups of products that have different margins or different value. For instance, your $10 pair of shoes is not nearly as valuable as maybe your high-end $50 pair of shoes. So I'd encourage you to start just by thinking almost intuitively about those different categories, and then think about, okay, what are the similarities between these products that I can subdivide by? So maybe it's a product type where your high-end shoes are all dress shoes and your low-end shoes are all flip-flops. That's a perfect subdivision. You take your shoes category, you subdivide by product type so that the evening or dress shoes are one category that you can bid higher on, and your flip-flops are a lower category that you can bid differently on.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that really makes sense. And then, so I can keep going. I can keep drilling down. So at what point do I stop the subdividing?
Another great question. So it's really, you have the opportunity to subdivide up to 5 levels. You have to make kind of a judgment call of when makes sense for you. Some people use all 5 levels. Some people really don't need them and they'll only use 2 or 3 levels. So it's really kind of up to how granular you want to get. An important consideration here is obviously the more granular you go, if you go up to all 5 levels, you're going to spend a lot of time and resources on managing the bids for those levels, on kind of organizing them and thinking about them and optimizing them. So you really want to take into account how much bandwidth your team has for investing these campaigns. So really think about what value is added by going more specific, and then make sure you're assessing that as part of your overall strategy.
Okay, that's awesome. That's definitely, time constraint is something that I know a lot of advertisers have to deal with. So that's a really good thing to bear in mind when you start all the subdividing. So speaking of advertisers, there's so many different size companies and businesses out there. Do you think that shopping campaigns are for a particular size retailer?
Yeah, so I think the great thing about shopping campaigns is they were designed with all retailers in mind. So all retailers think about their inventory. All retailers should be planning their advertising around their inventory goals. So shopping campaigns enable you to do this whether you have 10 products or whether you have millions of products. So they're really for advertisers of all sizes, retailers no matter how big or small.
Okay, awesome. And so this is a pretty new rollout. I know we've had PLA campaigns for a while, but shopping is quite new. It's always great to hear feedback about how it's going so far.
Yeah, I think we've heard a couple of main points of feedback. First and foremost, we've heard that shopping campaigns are a huge time saver. I think anybody who has used PLA campaigns in the past can empathize with that scenario of you think you're targeting something in your data feed, but because you misspelled it or because the values aren't perfectly aligned, you have to do that manual mapping, and then it can get tricky and it's not validating. So none of that happens in shopping campaigns. So I think that's one of the main points of feedback I'm hearing is that they're just a huge time saver. Having that visibility into your products and into your product information right from AdWords, which you're probably in every day anyway, is just a really good, efficient experience. On top of that, I think we're actually seeing that people are getting better insight into their product performance. So again, they have that visibility into performance at all levels, and they're able to make more strategic decisions. So it's much, much easier to assess if a brand is performing particularly well or if one product in particular is performing really well. And based on those insights, you can then break those out into more aggressive bids or maybe campaigns with their own budget. So I think those would be my two main points: time efficiency and kind of insight and competitive metrics.
Okay, those are two definite great ones that I think that advertisers will really appreciate. And I guess my final question then for you is kind of about the data. How would you suggest that we go about measuring benchmark data for shopping campaigns?
Yeah, so the benchmark data that you'll find in the AdWords interface is actually compiled based on kind of all the advertisers or retailers participating in shopping campaigns. So it's all aggregated and then it's anonymized, so you don't have to worry about your data being used specifically for other people. It's all aggregated and all anonymized. And in terms of how you would use these benchmarks, again, they're really there for your reference. So for instance, if max CPC, so in other words, how high other people are bidding, is significantly more aggressive than the way that you're bidding, it might be good insight into how you might adjust your bidding strategy. So for instance, on your highest value products or on your best sellers, if you find that that max CPC is much higher in the benchmark than it is for yours, it's good to know that you have some room to grow and you can get more aggressive. Similarly with click-through rate, if you find that your click-through rate on a certain group of products is much lower than the benchmark, I'd recommend taking a look at your data feed values. So for instance, are your titles for those products, are they user-friendly? Are they appealing to shoppers? Do they have the most important information up front? So use click-through rate as an opportunity to reconsider the data that you're putting out there and ensuring that your images, your titles, your prices, all of those are shopper-friendly.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
Great. I do have one question that I'm seeing here. So the question is, I do have the column Google product category within my shopping feed, but I cannot choose it as product group. So why would this be? So that's a great question. The answer to that question is, in regular PLA campaigns, you don't have that opportunity to choose Google product category. In shopping campaigns, so this new upgraded campaign type, you'll see the subdivision opportunity by category. So in other words, Google product category translates to the shortened term category in shopping campaigns, but that's not available in regular PLA campaigns. So if you want to use Google product category, I recommend you take those steps to upgrade your campaign, create that new shopping campaign, and then you'll be able to subdivide by that category attribute. And another question, this one from Bridget. So the question is, can we see the raw search terms in this campaign type? Yes, you can. So search term report is still available, and you'll absolutely be able to see that data.
Okay, we might wrap it up there, Nicole. Those were some really great insights, and I definitely took a lot away from that. It was really clear. Really, the images were really great and really made it me understand a lot more how this new shopping platform is really going to help our online retailers. So thank you so much for joining us today. For everyone who's watching, if you are watching as a live viewer and you didn't get a chance to ask your burning question, either feel free to post it on any of our social platforms or get in touch with your local AdWords team, and we'll be happy to answer that for you. And if you are watching this as a post recording on YouTube, same thing applies for you. If you have a question, go ahead and comment on the YouTube video or just get in touch with your local AdWords team. Thanks again, Nicole, for joining us. Hopefully we'll have you back again sometime soon, and thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day. Bye.